And here it is, guys, the Restoration Shaman. As you can see, there was an alpha build just the night before. We've actually got helmet vision on. They've done a little bit of changing on the talent, which is a good thing that I didn't get this recorded yesterday as I brought it down. So, let's get right into it. First thing we'll get into, what's changed, alright? What's gotten different? Well, there's a few things. Ability wise, I mean, you still have your normal resurrection. Any healer is going to have some form of mass res, but this is not going to be allowed to be for anybody but the healing class. So that you won't be able to have the hunter bring up the whole entire group anymore. It's just going to be for the healers. So here's Ancestral Vision. That's going to be our new up-to-date mass res. Astral Recall, we still have that thing. It's still going to be like a secondary Hearthstone. Astral Shift is now baked into our actual spec instead of being a talent. So you've got an automatic, 1.5 minute, every minute and a half you can end up using this thing to reduce your damage by 40%. It's awesome for heavy damage spike areas. I use it quite a bit for survivability now and on live, because on live, my main is an Alpha Resto Shaman, so I'm going to pick this thing apart pretty hard. Chain Heal, same thing, different day. Chain Lightning, same. Earthen Shield Totem, this is actually talent, I'll get into that in a minute. Farsight, Flame Shot, Ghost Wolf, all of this stuff's the same if you've played one on live. Healing Stream Totem has had a change. Now it's at a 30-second recharge, but you get a stack of 2 of them, I believe. 2 charges, and I don't believe it comes off of... Okay, sorry, that's off Echo Elements. So if you take Echo Elements, you actually get 2 Healing Stream Totems alongside it too. And if you drop both of these Healing Stream Totems, they work counter effectively. So let's say you just need the one for a little bit of bonus healing, you drop the one. If you need a little bit more healing than that, you can drop both of them and they aren't going to override each other. Healing Surge, same. Healing Tide Totem, it's basically the same except it hits weak. This thing is like the wet noodle of cooldowns right now. Healing Wave, same difference. This is going to be your effective healing. Heroism, Hex, Lava Burst, Lightning Bolt, all this stuff is working the same, guys. Purge is still going to remove one beneficial magic effect on an enemy. Purify is going to be your decurse. Riptide's working the same. Spirit Link Totem, it's the same, except for one difference. If you end up looking, you now have to target it. It doesn't drop underneath you, and this has messed me up a ton. I'm so used to positioning my body right that this targeting reticle throws me off. Let's see. Spirit Walker's Grace, same thing. We still got this. This makes our mobility absolutely awesome. It's on a 1-minute cooldown. I believe it is 2 minutes on live currently. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember. I only use it when I actually need it. Water Walking, same difference. Lets you walk in water. Wind Shear, we still have an interrupt, guys. This is going to be awesome. It's going to give us something extra to end up watching out for, unless it's obviously too healing intensive. We now have Lava Surge as restoration, so that helps out a little bit on our damage while we're out in the real world. Also, if we're fighting against a boss and there's not a lot of damage going out, I mean, doing the extra damage always helps. Mastery, Deep Healing. Mastery is the same thing based on the target's your team's current health, the person that you're healing. You're going to end up increasing your heals up to 55% or whatever your mastery is currently sitting at. So that hasn't changed anything. Resurgence is now baked in. No more Water Shield, guys. It's gone. Your direct heals, criticals refund a percentage of your maximum mana and it's kind of got the breakdown of what it's doing. This is subject to change. I think they've got this pretty close to where they want it. And then Tidal Waves. Tidal Waves does the same thing, basically, except instead of having abilities create 2 stacks, it only creates 1. It'll stack up to 2 times unless you take a talent. But it's going to reduce the cast time of your next healing wave by 20%, and then critical effect chance of healing surge by 30. So for talents, level 15, these just took a little bit of a change, so we're going to look into them. 15, Undilution, basically every 3rd healing wave or healing surge you cast heals for an additional 50%. That might be good. Healing Stream Totem now heals 2 targets at once. We've already seen this one. I can see where this will be beneficial, except the only thing is, Healing Stream Totem heals for 5,000 every 2 seconds. Alright. Your regular slow heal is 32,000, just to give you a comparison of where it's at. So it's basically 1/6 of what your regular heal is going to end up doing every 2 seconds. Not too sure about how that's going to play out. And as you can see, our artifact weapon, now whenever you're AFK or sit too long, it actually puts this little buff on you and makes you look like you're in a trance. While wielding Shersdal in a restive state, a shaman can feel the ebb and flow of the world's tides. One feels the give and take of oceans and rain with each passing breath. So, basically, it's an AFK stance. People know that you're AFK now. Let's see. And the last one here in the 15, it's Torrent, increase the initial heal from Riptide by 50%. I play a very heavy Riptide game on live and now, so this just fits me a little bit more. 30, you've got Gust of Wind. This is the same for all of them. It's just basically it's going to fling you forward, kind of like a forward disengage, and that's it, guys. It's just a way of leaping forward if you need to get out of something real quick. Graceful Spirit. This seems like the best for the Restoration spec. It's passive. It reduces the cooldown of Spirit Walker's Grace by 60 seconds and increases your movement speed by 20%. While it's active, increases your movement speed in Ghost Wolf by an additional 10%. Now that last part they just added in as an extra deal to make this look good, and it's great, and that would be why this is showing 1 minute cooldown. It is normally 2 minutes on live, guys, but because of this talent it brought it down. Alright, Windrush Totem. This is Savage, or not Savage Roar, yeah, Savage Roar, that's the one. This is what the druids ended up getting a couple patches ago that ended up making you run faster. But this is actually a totem. Summons a totem at the target location, which means it's going to have a target reticle. You can put it wherever the hell you want, alright, as long as it's within your casting range. For 15 seconds, continually granting all allies who pass within 10 yards 60% increased movement speed for 5 seconds. This is going to be great for if you're moving your whole entire team from one location to another. You've seen footage on that Chromatic Anomaly, which is a raid boss, to where you may be spread, but they're kind of still staying together on a lot of the different strats that I've seen. I did not get to test this myself, unfortunately. But you're kind of having to move and constantly kite and move through this location, and I think this thing is going to be awesome for getting that group movement taken care of. Lightning Surge Totem. This is the same thing as Capacitor Totem on live. What this is going to do is basically after 5 seconds it blows up and stuns all enemies within 8 yards. Excellent form of CC, especially in the 5-mans right now, because there's so much damage going out. Any interruption on damage usually helps out the tanks quite a bit. Earth Grab Totem. I needed this for kiting, that's why you saw that I had it on there. It does have its place, guys. Basically what it's going to do is reach up, snare the target, and then, it's going to cast them in roots. stop them from moving, and then if they do get broke out, they're reduced, speed's reduced by 50% for, I want to say, like 5 seconds, 6 seconds, enough to actually make it count. Voodoo Totem replaces Hex. Basically, this is just a totem you throw on the ground. It's going to do a mass CC. Anything it can and will cast Hex on, it will cast Hex on in that area. Nothing special with this. Hex gets broke really easy now. It's almost like a polymorph. So, it may have its area to where, you know, let's say you're working with a Death Knight and you throw this thing down and you want them to, they're going to end up pulling them one at a time or something. This will end up helping a lot in that CC market, especially on a 30-second cooldown. You can keep it tossed out there. The only bad part is, though, if you end up reading, it can only Hex once, I believe. Damage or leaving an area will interrupt the effect, so it doesn't show that anymore. Never mind. It used to end up saying in there that you can only end up, this will only Hex the enemy once, and it looks like they changed it, so that's awesome. 60 Crashing Waves. Tidal Waves generates 1 additional charge, so instead of 2 you can go up to 3. And it also increases the critical effect chance of the Healing Surge by additional 10%, and the reduced cast time of Healing Wave by an additional 10%. So basically, instead of 20% cast time on Healing Wave and 30% crit chance on Healing Surge, it's going to end up being 30 and 40. So that helps out. That goes into a lot of different gameplay. I did end up going a different route just because of some of the dungeons I was doing. Ancestral Guidance. Same thing as in live right now, guys. If you end up casting this, basically 20% of your damage and healing is converted into a 3-person AE heal. So, the 3 lowest people needing heals, there's still a smart heal on this. It does end up helping. Alright. Let's see. Deluge. Passive. Chain Heal. Heals for an additional 20% on targets within your healing range or affected by your Riptide. I took this because, like I said, I do play a strong Riptide game, and Chain Heal, healing for that extra 20% on these guys was absolutely amazing right now. With all the AoE damage and people not knowing how to get out of stuff, it helped out a lot, and you'll see it in the content. I do have some videos of the gameplay coming up a little bit later here. So, Ancestral Protection Totem in your 75. This is basically it's supposed to give somebody a reincarnate so they come up. It's a uncontrolled battle res, and it seems alright. It does not go, Blizzard has confirmed that it's not supposed to be on the same cooldown as an actual battle res. So basically, if you throw this down, and they don't die from a massive damage. So let's say it's the tank that gets hit for absolutely ungodly amounts of damage, or the boss is running around after the tank does die. If you've got a group, basically the way this is supposed to be used is you got huge ticking damage that's going out, and everybody's grouped up. You throw this thing down. The first person that dies from that ticking damage will be able to res for free. It's not going to count against you. It's not on the battle res counter. So they say. Have not tested this thing. I don't see a point for it in a 5-man, because most of the time in a 5-man, nobody is grouped up. So I kind of skipped it for this thing. This is a new one. Earthen Shield Totem. This thing is awesome so far. Basically, this is a way for you to reduce the outgoing damage for 15 seconds. It summons a totem with 331,920 health. It's not a coincidence by any means. It comes out with the same amount of health as what you have. So basically, you are dropping a little stone you down there when it comes to the health. Alright. It's going to last for 15 seconds, and then it's taking a percentage of that. Currently, it's at 6,807 damage from each attack against allies within 10 yards of the totem. is redirected to the totem. So if you've got a lot of damage that's going out, you can throw this down. It's going to smooth out that damage, follow through with the healing rain, and then a chain heal, because that's going to just, it's going to help bring him up and smooth out that damage. It's almost like in current raid content right now, what discipline priests are being used for is to smooth out damage. This is like having your own personal mini discipline priest in your own arsenal, your own toolkit. This is a great item, guys. So I enjoy it. It did take a little bit of a nerf already. They reduced how much it takes off the top of each damage, but still, it's enough. It helps out, and I think this is going to scale great. So, something to keep in mind, guys. Ancestral Vigor. Passive. Targets you heal with Healing Wave, Healing Surge, Chain Heal, or Riptide's initial heal gain 10% increased health for 10 seconds. We've seen this before. But this is hard capped at 10%, guys. It no longer just stacks and stacks and stacks like we've seen it in previous builds. And it only lasts for 10 seconds instead of longer. So you can't keep building up health like we did originally. I want to say at the beginning of WoD, they had it to where you're able to stack the health really high. And they had it in Mr. Pandaria also. But currently, 10% right now, not so good. 10% off of level 110 when you've got tanks that have like 4 million health. that might end up helping a lot, guys. We'll see. Not 100% sure. Currently, it does not beat out this on a 1 minute cooldown, just because that having a mini disc priest in your pocket is always good. Level 90. Bottomless Depths. Resurgence always triggers when you heal a target below 60% health. So if you find yourself where people are real low all the time, certain fights like that, and you need that extra mana, this is going to be awesome, especially if you're chain healing a lot. Yeah, I see this on a fight where you've got a lot of ticking damage. Alright, you're going to want to go in combination with Bottomless Depths and High Tide here. Because basically, chain heal bounced and one additional target, and its fallout with each bounce is reduced by half. So instead of it being 30%, it's 15% per person on the fall off now. I see this being a strong combo for a heavy ticking damage area, just because Resurgence is going to end up giving you so much mana back if these people are below. And if you're getting it to trigger on everybody, it's a good chunk. Something to think about, something to play with, something to see how the content's rolling out. We've only had a few raid bosses pop up, and so far it hasn't been a stack situation at all. Cloudburst Totem, same thing as what's on live, guys, except you can actually cast it again and make it blow up. I have not used this thing since day one. I tried it, and I did not enjoy the gameplay of it. But it's got its niche. I mean, it really does. It's got its place. I've seen some shamans use it really well on the timing, and I think having it to where you can recast it again and blow it up, that's going to be awesome. It's going to make it a little more on-demand instead of random. So, what I went with is Echo of Elements. Again, I've got a strong Riptide game, and then it gives you an extra Healing Stream Totem, extra Lava Burst, and the main reason why I took this is, in addition, when you cast Healing Wave, Healing Surge, Riptide, or Chain Heal, you have a 15% chance to generate another charge of Riptide. Again, strong Riptide game here, guys. I love keeping that thing up. So, that's most of the reason why I ended up taking this. And this did just have a change. It was saying spells affected by tidal waves. Now it's actually got the casts out there, so you don't have to have tidal waves on it to end up refreshing it. But still, amazing ability. I've always got Riptide up, it seems, so we'll keep on that. Level 100! Ascendance is now a talent. Our main cooldown well, one of our main cooldowns. We are still the king of cooldowns. Is now a talent. It's doing the same thing, guys. As you heal, all healing you deal is duplicated and distributed evenly among nearby allies. There's no nerf to it. There's no nothing. It's still a 3-minute cooldown. But now it's a damn talent. Kills me. And yes, I did go with it because I love the gameplay on it. I love that on-demand healing. This one may have its place, so Wellspring, create a surge of water that flows forward, healing all friendly targets in a wide arc in front of you for 21,000. So this may have its placement. And then High Tide. High Tide is back with a vengeance. Passive. Chain heal bounces to 1 additional target, and its fall off with each bounce is reduced by half. So if you're seeing a lot of, again, for a fight that's got a lot of ticking damage, not heavy damage, but just constant ticking damage, chain heals is going to be, High Tide's going to be pretty appropriate. And then Wellspring, we'll go ahead and take a look at this real quick and then go on to the honor talents. I'm pretty sure people want to see what it looks like, but... And that's it. That's all you wrote. Nothing too terribly special on graphics. So... Honor talents. Okay, these 3 are the same in any one of my videos. You're looking, if you're interested in doing the PvP here, Gladiator's Medallion. This is basically your trinket. This is to counteract the human racial, guys. So people will quit complaining. You got Adaptation. You got Relentless. All of these are the same in any single one of the PvP trees you look at currently. Adaptation basically starts your trinket. If you end up taking a CC that's 5 seconds or more, it's automatic. It is honor level 13, but it only puts a 1.5 minute cooldown on it instead of a full 2 minute. Relentless, duration of incoming crowd control effects reduced by 25%. It's passive, and these are supposed to replace each other or bake in. I'm not 100% sure. They just, it says replaces honorable medallion, and I'm not even going to go into there. I haven't tested out any PvP right now. I'll let you know more about this when it comes up. But Defender of the Week, passive. After healing a target below 50% health, you gain 20% haste for 5 seconds. That's going to be awesome. Sky Fury Totem. It's instant. 45-second cooldown. Summons a fire totem with 5 health at the feet of the caster for 15 seconds. That increases the critical effect of damage and healing spells of all nearby allies within 40 yards by 30% for 15 seconds. That's going to be awesome. So you can drop this thing 33% of the time and just increase the critical effect. So you're giving them a bonus. It's not saying how much, but each time they crit, it's going to be an extra damage. Awesome support ability. Purifying Waters, passive. Whenever you successfully purge a target, or when you are dispelled, you are healed for 5% of your total health. This is going to be cool. We've seen this before, but in PvP, it seems like it's going to be more useful than live. It's nice that they got this out of the spell book and actually put it into something that's going to be useful to work towards. Voodoo Mastery reduces the cooldown of your Hex spell by 20 seconds, or the cooldown of your Voodoo Totem by 10 seconds. That could be neat. More CC for days. Rippling Waters, passive. Riptide heals for blank amount when the spell ends. Its duration is refreshed on the target or is dispelled. So it's just putting a base heal on the end of Riptide. So you'll have a big heal on the beginning, a big heal on the end. It looks like that's probably, yeah. So it's doing the starter heal. Whatever your starting heal is, it'll throw it on the end, whether it's dispelled, ticks off completely, or it's refreshed. It does an extra amount of healing. So that's going to be kind of nice, guys, especially if you do go with Echo of Elements. You got 2, you got a guy that's ready to die, hit this thing twice, and basically you're getting you know, 3 times the amount of healing out of it, or double. Basically, you'll get 3 of the large heals, and then it'll have the dot on the end. So, adaptation, we went over that one. Vim and Vigor. Passive, while you're at or above 80% health, your healing is increased by 20%. Can we say, Kite, get away from everyone, keep your health up, because that's nice. 20% extra healing, it seems like a low number, but that's a huge amount of heals, guys. Counter Strike Totem, instant. Summon an air totem with 1 health at the feet of the caster for 1 minute. Whenever enemies within 20 yards of the totem deal damage, the totem will deal 100% of that damage dealt back to the lowest health enemy within range of the totem. Yes. Redirecting damage. This is great. This is kind of like the monk ability, except it's 1 minute. And it's on a 30-second cooldown. So, that's pretty insane. If people don't end up shooting this thing, paying attention to it, it's going to wreck somebody. Awesome. I really like this. We'll see how that one plays out. Spectral Recovery. While in ghost form, you heal 3% every 2 seconds. Looks like they took the ability from Rhaegar and Hots and baked it in to where you can end up regenerating health real fast. That's nice to see. Electrocute, passive. When you successfully purge a beneficial effect, the enemy suffers damage also. That's great. Earth Shield. Yes, unfortunately, we do not have Earth Shield passively anymore, guys. It is gone. No more Earth Shield and AFK. So, it is now in PvP. It's going to do the same thing, except it also reduces damage a target receives by 20%. There's 3 charges on this thing. I haven't tested with it. It can only be on 1 target still, but it looks like it's basically the same deal, except we don't get it in PvE anymore. It's alright. We aren't suffering on the heals at all. Yeah, we're doing pretty good still. Inner Renewal, passive. Casting effective heals on yourself directly will refund 50% of the spell's mana cost. Longer fight, more longevity of the fight, basically. You won't go Yes, that was a dramatic pause. If you all can read what's up there. Wind Fury Totem. Instant. Summons a Wind Fury Totem with 5 health at the target destination for 1 minute. If the totem is destroyed, Wind Fury Totem incurs a 30-second cooldown. So, yeah. Wind Fury Totem enchants all allies within 10 yards. Weapons with wind causing auto attacks have a 40 chance to generate an additional auto attack. It's back. Oh yes, it's back. This is gonna be awesome. It's in PvP. I can hear the bitching and complaining already on the PvP side, and it's going to be damaging. I don't know if it's gonna stay, guys, but currently it's nice to see that they're trying to make it return. And on to the next one. Swelling Waves. When you cast Healing Surge on yourself, you are healed again for the same amount 3 seconds later, so you get a double tap on your heal for yourself. Grounding Totem is now in the PvP side. A lot of stuff is. And then you got Spirit Link. Replaces Spirit Link Totem. You link yourself and 2 closest allies within 15 yards together. When linked targets take damage, 50% is distributed among the others. So it's Spirit Link, but it lasts 30 seconds. It's between you and 2 other people. It's on a 45-second cooldown, so 66% of the time you can keep this thing up if needed. And just so you know, 3-minute cooldown there, okay? And I believe it only lasts 6 seconds. So this is gonna be awesome, especially in 3s. This is gonna make shit damaging. So it'll be nice, but then you'll have to get rid of it to go up to your next prestige level. And well, you can see how that one's gonna do. No one's gonna want to get rid of this. Come on! Alright, guys. Now for the artifact. It's alright. They've got another relic slot that they just added in that wasn't in there yesterday. So, what your relic ability is. It's Gift of the Queen. Consumes your Healing Rain, healing all allies within its area for 35,737. It doesn't matter when it's at. Okay? It's going to do twice as much healing than what the tick, what it does over 10 seconds. It's going to do twice as much healing whenever you end up casting that. It is a nice little burst heal, as long as people are in the area. If they're not in the area, it doesn't mean shit. 45-second cooldown. It is quite spammable. It does not cost any mana right now. That is the best part about it. Except for the mana cost on your Healing Rain. And as you can see, Healing Rain's only at 7,000, just under 7,000 mana. Alright. Healing Surge is at about 6,000. So, they made it to where it's a little bit more cost friendly, and that's good because there's no more conductivity, there's no way of extending this thing right now. So it's just a pain in the ass to have to keep it down every 10 seconds. Ancient Power is your first ability in, and this is a placeholder right now. Ancient Power within your weapon is increased. Increases all healing you do by 5%. That'll be nice. Increases the healing of Healing Wave and Healing Surge by 3%. Okay. That's going to work out pretty decent. Wave Crash, increase the rate at which your Healing Stream Totem heals for 10%. That's nice, guys. Healing Stream is going to get buffed really well on this side. We'll go right here. Queen Ascendant. Resurgence reduces all cast time of your next heal by reduces the cast time of your next heal by 5%. So every time you end up getting your mana back, you also get a reduction on the heal. I think they'll probably have some sort of indicator for that. And then Decree of the Queen. Your Healing Stream Totem is augmented with Queen's Decree. Queen's Decree applies a healing over time effect to targets healed by Healing Stream. So you've got a hot that's now added on there. Servant of the Queen. After reincarnating, take 80% less damage. Just a damage reduction after reincarnation. If you get to a point where you got to reincarnate, it's usually, and you're the healer, it's usually fight over anyways, but we'll see. Caress of the Tide Mother. Passive. Casting your Healing Stream Totem grants you 3% damage reduction for 10 seconds. Tidal Feedback. Interrupting a spell with Wind Shear will fire a lightning bolt at the target. Tidal Chains. Increase the effect of your tidal waves by 10%. Yeah, that'll be nice. The effect of tidal waves, basically this stacks 3 times, so you'll have it to where 60% chance to crit with Surge, and then Healing Wave will have 50% reduced cast time. I see a lot of effort being put into that one, but everything is it's all going to buff you drastically here, guys. Pull of the Sea. Increase the healing and periodic healing of Riptide by 3%. I play a strong Riptide game, so you can guess which way I'm going. Let's see. Ghost in the Mist. Passive. Reduces damage taken while in Ghost Wolf by 1%. This effect stacks every 1 second, climbing up to 6 times. It'll be nice if you're running away from something. I see this being more for a PvP talent, though, if you're trying to kite. So, we'll see. Sense of Urgency. Passive. Heals you cast during Heroism, Bloodlust are increased by 50% effectiveness. So yeah. If you're in a fight to where you're using Bloodlust, you know, for the heal side of it instead, this is gonna be awesome. It's gonna help out a lot. Empowered Droplets increases the healing and critical strike chance of Healing Rain by 3%. This is gonna be real nice too, guys. I mean, Shaman are still basically the same. They're playing basically the same as what they are on live currently. You're really wanting to use your Healing Rain. If you're grouped up, it's awesome. Chain Heal is still pretty good. if you're spec'd right. So, tidal pools, passive. Your Riptide has a chance to leave a tidal totem under the target. Tidal totem heals for 0 over until canceled. So, canceled, not cancered. I'm sorry, I'm tongue-tied from trying to say tidal totem. The heals for 0, that's just a tooltip error. I'm guessing this is probably going to be like a mini HTT. So, little small tidal totem. Yeah, tidal totem. That's going to go underneath the target from Riptide that you got a chance. So I will probably be spec'ing this direction before anything. Let's see. Unbreakable Chains increases the critical strike chance of chain heal by 3%. That's going to be awesome. And then this is cumulative upkeep. This is where you're going to end up seeing Healing Tide Totem take off, guys. Every time Healing Tide heals an ally, that ally gains an additional 10% healing taken from Healing Tide. This effect stacks. So this is where you're going to see Healing Tide start taking off. Alright? This is the part that you're going to want to look at. And then we've got the appearances. Some of these look good. I think the base model is probably the best. The colors. This one here, the Scepter of the Deep Sea. Not too bad. Titanborn. It's very Titanish. Old War. It'll fit a few sets that I've got. They could have gone a little bit further with this set. And then you've got Totem Bear, which this reminds me of almost like the Baby Rattle out of Old War. A little bit different, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. And these are the PvP ones. I'm saying probably the Scepter of the Deep Sea is the better looking model for it. The rest of them are pretty bland. Wasn't too impressed about the artifact, guys. Unfortunately. So, that being said, I am going to cut it here, and we're going to go straight into some dungeon work, and you can see how it's playing right now. So here we are. We're right into the gameplay, guys. And as you can see, it's really not too much different. Healing Stream is very weak compared to what it used to be. That being said, you will end up using more single target heals than you do just chain healing. There's a lot of shamans out there that believe chain heal is the only button that they own, and that's not true. Sometimes it is. When there's a lot of damage going out, that's going to be your go-to, obviously. It's going to be anyone's go-to. Healing Rain is very efficient now, guys. I mean, it's still a heavier heal than your actual... It's about twice the mana cost of what Healing Wave is going to be, which is your beneficial heal. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. And as you can see, we have very little issues with healing. There's a lot of damage that's going out, and there's no issue getting it back up. None whatsoever. Without having Earth Shield, the tank does take a little bit more time to get topped up once it's there. You might end up having to use a Healing Surge, you know, and hope for a crit just to make sure it gets topped up sometimes. But other than that, guys, the heals themselves are still on par. You've got Chain Heal, you still have your Healing Rain. You're going to be looking at using your Caduceus, or however you say it, basically your artifact weapon, which helps out a lot. You've got this fight right here, we did completely wrong, and we still ended up making it through because of the way that the heals are. They are still very strong AE heals. They're supposed to end up killing these slimes and then kiting over it. Right there, you saw that little dust cloud. That's actually going to be the totem that I talked about at the beginning, the talent that reduces the damage, pads it out. We do lose the hunter, and the reason why I lost the hunter on that was because, well, he doesn't like standing in the blue stuff. I guess he's got a fear of it. In this fight too, nobody ended up really doing anything with ads, so we were taking outstanding amounts of damage. This is the Violet Hold, by the way, the new Violet Hold, in case you couldn't tell, because it's so much different than the original. If you've done the Violet Hold once, you've done it twice. I'm not going to go over this, and I may or may not make a video on this place, but it's the same. But you could see all those tentacles were up, nobody was killing them, and it just completely wrecked us. Now this one here, this is the last boss, and they're one of the two, and the spiders, this part at least, was dangerous. It didn't really do too much, except people were dropping the spiders too soon and they were eating my face off. So it did take us a few times to get through. You still have all the same basic stuff, guys. You've got your Ancestral Shift to help you out for reduction of damage. You've got ways of kiting. There is so much, they're so movement oriented. If you take the ability that empowers your grace, then you end up, you'll reduce, you know, the time that you can end up running and the speed and using your heavy movement abilities. And I mean, all this damage is here. We ended up getting like 3 trash packs, and there was no issues. Again, I do main a Shaman live, so this might have been a little easier for me than it would be anyone that's just testing it out. But we're good here, guys. I mean, we're good. We've got it. We're running through. There's no issues with the healing on this class at all. But at the same time, there's no real changes either. We don't have a problem on live, so apparently Blizz likes us where we're at, and that's where we're standing. What I would like to end up seeing, though, is I would like to have Earth Shield back, and the reason for that is just the base ability for the tank heals. There's sometimes the tanks are just getting pummeled, and it's very hard to keep them up right now because you don't have that extra base. Even if they took the you know, the actual heal off of it, but being able to do that extra base heal to almost every class has that baked in somehow. Holy Paladins do with Beacon. Dis does not, but currently Dis, they have that, you know, humongous shield. I mean, it's not as bad as it is live currently, but they still have the shield to buffer it, so they can end up getting them brought back up. You have Holy Priest, they have their Miracle Heal to help bump them up. That's the only thing we seem to be lacking, is that bump ability, and the only way that I was able to do it myself was by casting Riptide with both casts, because I had Echo, and I've also got Torrent, which increases the basic heal. So that being said, we need some sort of way to bump them up, because unless you get lucky and you've got a good amount of crit, Healing Surge is not going to work. I had a few times to where the poor tanks, they're doing, I don't know if they were doing everything they could, but it felt like there was I was putting everything I could into them at least. And that being said, it still wasn't enough to end up doing that single target damage boost. So that's just something that they need. We need some sort of way of being able to pop the tank back up like every other healing class seems to have. You've got Druids that have Swift Mend right now, and everybody seems to have that. We have Healing Surge. That is the only one we've got. We've got Riptide, but unless you're Spectrite, that still isn't going to do anything for you. That's just going to be a basic little hot. So if we had Earth Shield, some sort of thing to end up getting us boosted back up, we would be back into a good spotlight. Not a lot that I can really say outside of that, guys, because we're looking at, hey, we're doing good. We've got a lot of damage here. We can do a lot of damage. We can heal a lot of damage. We can't heal stupid still, but you know, it's just what ends up happening. There's so much going on in this fight also that you're seeing. But you got to take care of what you can, and that being said, we need something to be able to pop the tank back up. Otherwise, we are going to be worthless on challenge modes or heroics, wherever stuff's going to start getting hairy, and there's not another healer to back us up. just something to keep in mind. This is still alpha. We are in testing. This is my test going towards this thing, and I really hope that they hear my plea and they go after it. But we are getting towards the end of this, guys. I want to say thank you. If you have any questions or comments, stuff that I didn't go over in this video, do let me know, and I'll be more than glad to answer them as best as possible. Again, alpha testing. We won't know what it's going to look like till it's live. The weapon looks, the looks itself don't look that great, but the spec, the talent tree that they're bringing back into these weapons, it looks really good and strong. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll have another video posted on the upper right if you want to go ahead and click it and continue on.